Another episode of With the Chiefs.
Wait. Man, I need more rest.
I hope I've got your last name right there.
It's a very good pronunciation.
You should know better than that now, Donald.
I know.
All right, welcome back to another episode of With the Chiefs. Today, we're very lucky to be joined by Zachary Johnson. Zach is a very talented middle distance runner and is a member of Run Crew. At the end of 2023, he went on a bit of a PB spree, running 152 in the 800, 351 in the 1500, and 827 in the 3000. Today, we're going to chat with Zach about those performances along with some of the training that went into it. So, Zach, welcome to the show, mate.
Thank you. Nice to be on, chatting to you boys.
Yeah, sweet. So we normally start with a bit of a training update. So I guess we'll start with you, Zach. What's been happening over this week in terms of training?
Let me just get out my phone.
Hang on, it's not on Strava though.
Do you show the video? Do you show this?
Yeah, we do.
Got a little awkward.
Geez.
Oh,
got a little mountain range there.
Yeah, you can't find that publicly.
Yeah, this is secret training insight.
Yeah, the 300k weeks. No,
Yeah.
there's a lot of ups and downs. I kind of got a great winter towards like August onwards. And everything was just clicking. Like everyone in the group was sort of just gelling and training. We were all taking reps, and everything just sort of went really well. So I got like a big build up till like the start of track season, I guess, and then raced really well for me. Got a bunch of PBs, which I was stoked with. And then I got sick kind of like just before December, and then got sick just after December. So kind of just been coming back, but a couple like 100k weeks. And then this week's been my best week in a while, actually. 3 sessions, lots of easy running. Yeah, really good. So definitely on the up, which I'm stoked about.
Yeah, nice. Can you go into the sessions a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So the first one, I was actually on like a boys trip down south.
Nice.
Which was hard to balance because, like I said to myself, as every person does on January 1st, all right, this year, no drinking till nationals kind of thing. I'm going to be real hard with myself. But then I hope my coach doesn't hear this, but I went out on Saturday and Sunday night, which might have been a bit stupid. But then Tuesday because my Achilles has been a bit sore, so I had like a bulkier session. No, it wasn't on my own. It was with Lockie Townsend, who trains with like Drew and the ESP boys, like Sydney's guy.
He used to be a country boy, didn't he?
Big, yeah. He hates it when you say that, but
does he?
We introduce him to everyone as the man from Dubbo. He's like a real good salt of the earth.
Legend.
Yeah, he's lovely. So we were down there, and he jumped in on my session, which I was grateful. It was 6 by 5 minutes, off 2-minute jog. And we took the jogs pretty easy, and then it was on like this. It's not a really attractive graph, but it was like this tiny little road loop around my mate's beach house in Sussex, near Husky. And these are really unsexy splits, but we did 3:14 for the first 5 minutes. And I was like, oh God, I'm dying. Lockie was like, we had our other mate on the bike, and he's like singing along with my mate on the bike. Like he's like throwing his hands in the air. He was walking those reps, and I was dying. And Lockie and I, like, we're very good mates, but we also race each other like quite directly in every distance. So there's like that little edge. So I'm like, I can't show this bloke that I'm like really hurting, but I was hurting. And then,
but is Lockie more like a distance kind of approach, whereas you're more?
I think so. Yeah. He's a gun over cross country, whereas my cross country record should not be mentioned. I'm notorious for running a couple 4-minute Ks in cross country courses. I'm just so bad at it. But he's definitely more strong. So over the aerobic stuff, I'm kind of just holding on. But it was 3:14, 3:07, 3:09. This was my fault. I pushed it a bit because I thought he was hurting. So 3:03. And then 3:08, I died. And then 3:14, I died. So, but it was a very good session. It was like 10.5K
Nice.
work. And then Thursday, hold on, I'm just trying to find it. Sorry. Thursday was very much a confidence booster. I haven't really done anything like that in a while, so I'm grateful to Gary for giving it to me. But we went to the track. I always see Dom there. He always cheers. It's nice.
Yeah. Zach's always on the front. Yeah, like
Yeah, Dom comes at the end when like I'm leading like the pretty reps, like the little 200s at the end. But, with about 1,000 people with King's Cross, is it, Dom?
yeah, King's Cross. Yeah.
Yeah, sick. No, it looks like a cool group. But we did 1,600, so 4 laps, and then just trying to find the rest. Yeah, 4 laps, and then we took 2 minutes, so plenty of time. 2x200, and we really didn't. There was no. Gary just said chill between those, so we just walked back slowly and aimlessly, and took 90 seconds basically. And then 3x4x400. So it was like sets of 400s, broken into 3 sets, and then in between the actual 400s was a minute 45 cycle. So yeah, we all freaked out when we heard that because we were like, holy no, it's gonna be like 45 seconds rest after a 60. It's not nice. But then 6 minutes between sets.
Okay.
So we did. It's the first. Usually we run kind of to feel, I guess, because everyone in the squad's always like sort of in different spots with their training. Some guys are quicker, some guys are stronger. But on this Thursday group, it's probably a bit more focused to like the MD stuff. So which I love. We've got a bunch of guys that are kind of going for the same thing. So kind of in that front group, it was like me, my mate Jaden Gill, who else? Harry Phillips, Cam Burnett, like just these, and Harry Harleen actually, who's like probably our best junior at the moment. And yeah, so we were told relaxed for the 1,600. So we always press to like get exact paces, and Gary's like, no, don't worry, just do it, relax. But he said 72s. But then in the first lap, poor Harry, I'll throw him under the bus. He let us out, and I swear we ran like a 75. And like, yeah, we were like, man. And then Harry Phillips, and Harry Harleen's totally capable of going quicker. I think we were just all joking about it. And then Harry Phillips then just like threw on the accelerator, and like we went into like a 67 or something. So whatever it was to get us through. And then we ended up in 4:45 for that 4 laps. And then the 200s were both in 30, which was pretty good. We just kind of kept a lid on it. And then the 400s, Gary said, go 62, 64, 64, 62. So, which was quite brutal with like the 40 seconds rest in between. And we did. I'm a shocker for pacing, by the way, just as a disclaimer. I'm very bad. Like, so I said that I'd lead the fast ones because they're a bit easier to pace, a bit closer to red line. And then the other boys can do the slow ones, and I can sort of just get out of the way and not mess everyone's session. So the first set was 61, 64, 64, 61. So that was actually pretty good. And then the second set was 59, my fault, 64, 63, probably my fault again, and then 59. And then the third set was 59, 64, 64, 59. So I probably cooked it a bit too hard on those ones, but it was an awesome session. Like we were full hands on knees afterwards, like, and it was so humid, Dom. I mean, you were there. I was like, yeah, I felt like I'd been for a swim after that session. It was crazy, but it was pretty cool. Like it was one of those sessions where like everyone kind of took reps. We had like a second group going off a longer cycle with all the juniors. So we were kind of watching each other out of the corner of our eyes, like we were doing the session. It was really good. So I really enjoyed that. That gave me a lot of confidence that I'm kind of finally back to where I was in November. And then today was brutal, actually. Doesn't sound hard, but it was 4 times 600, 400, 200. And it's like, I can't really show you guys, but like it's this little area like right next to Homestead at Centennial Park. So if you're like standing at that tree that's in front of the cafe, it's like a bit further down, and then next to all those like footy fields, and I just put cones out. So it was like a 600-meter, I guess, like whale mouth type loop thing. So we did, and then it was in between the 6 and the 4 was like 100 jog, and then in between the 4 and the 2 was like, a bit longer, and then in between the 2 and the 6, then it was just walk back. So we had plenty of rest, but I actually don't know the splits for that because I didn't look, but it felt really hard. And Jaden absolutely murdered us. Like it's one of those sessions where I was absolutely fighting to stick with him, but he did really well. And it was just tough, like on the grass, trying to run fast. Every rep sort of felt hard. But again, it was a cool environment because like we had guys doing the distance session, they'd kind of just jump in and, people watching, and we're all kind of running on the same loop. And it was that kind of like gritty vibe that I really like Dom, those Tuesday morning sessions that I again see you always on, like around, where splits don't really matter because it's just like soft grass, kind of undulating, bit hilly, and it's just like a gritty, grimy session. I think that's the stuff that Gary probably prefers rather than like the really like, I don't know, precision type track workouts, just because it gets you a lot stronger. So that was awesome as well today. I'm really happy I finished that strong. So yeah, that was the week. Sorry for rambling.
No, that's a good week. Good insight. Yeah, especially
awesome.
because we can't get it
Can't see.
publicly.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I was listening. Funny story. I was listening to the Inside Running podcast a while ago. I think it was the Inside Running podcast, and I heard this Swedish bloke who was on the thing, or maybe Norwegian, and he was talking about like how he got like all of like his worth to run was like, oh, I'm going to show my followers I can do 4:12s for 60 minutes, and like, you get so much kudos for that. And then like if one day was at like 5:12s, he'd feel like a bit nervous. Didn't really want to post it. And that sort of resonated with me a lot because I was like, geez, I'd always check. And then I got into this like awful habit because my parents are both very old school. They're like, geez, social media, those kids, all that kind of rubbish.
Yeah.
But like, I kind of did notice myself checking, like, I was like, oh no, this person's liked my run. This person hasn't liked my run. My coach hasn't liked my run. Did I do something wrong? And I full spiraled with it. And I was like, geez, I just want everyone to see my 60-minute morning run, which the pace doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Easy. So, and then I guess also I really wanted to drive home. So I'm going into like a life story. I really wanted to like drive home to myself that like races are the only thing that matter, because I'm notoriously an excellent trainer. Like I'll run ridiculous sessions in training, probably far faster than what my PBs suggest. But then it means absolutely nothing, if you can't do it on race day. So my Gary and Benny Saint, and Katie and like all the coaches at Run Crew have been really good with that, because it's like, you can run 20 by whatever 400 at 50 seconds, but if you're still a 351 runner, you're a 351 runner. So that was part of the reason. And now I kind of only post races, and it's it seems a bit pretentious, but
no, it makes sense. For
definitely
sure.
helps me mentally a lot in terms of like just trying to like do everything I can to focus on the right things.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're probably a lot less distracted by it, at least.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, because you probably don't notice, like, I mean, I check it all the time, but I don't know, like, you probably don't notice how much it impacts things. So yeah, it was good for you to pick up on that, and at least it's a positive thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Also hides the mountain graph, which is just up and down.
Yeah.
Chris Gatt calls it his Patagonia pattern or something like that.
Mine is shocking, but doesn't matter.
No, what a week. Yeah, what about, were you gonna ask a question, Dom? Sorry.
Oh, I was just wondering, what are you kind of training for at the moment then? Any races coming up?
Yeah, we weren't sure because I got whacked like in November, right before that, like 3 days before that 351, I got influenza A, which I've always had bad asthma. So like any respiratory illness just cooks me. I'd rather like a broken leg, to be honest. So I had that, which put me in a hole. And then I had COVID in early of this year, which smashed me again. And Gary and I were kind of like, geez, and I was so unfit. Like I did 6 by 800 off like 2 minutes. I still remember it on the track, Vaporflies, half tights, the works. I was like, I'm ready to crush it. COVID ain't going to do anything. And I literally averaged, I think, 245. for these 800s.
Yeah.
So it's like, all the little 8-year-olds in our squad were lapping me. So we were unsure whether or not I'd race for a while. But then I guess based off that Thursday session, I'm feeling a lot better. And it's amazing what confidence does as well. So yeah, I'm going to have a go in this 1500 on Thursday next week, which should be good. I actually heard, wait, when do you guys release this video?
Maybe tonight or tomorrow.
All right. Well, I mean, I heard from someone that apparently Jake Whiteman and like Stewie and Cam Myers and like all these big dogs are running in this Bankstown Milers meet on Thursday.
Really?
And yeah, I was like,
Right.
I know. So I was kind of on the fence about like racing. But then I was like, nah, fuck it, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
It'd just be cool to be out there. But I'm pretty
Yeah.
keen to get after it myself. I think I can PB. But then after that, nothing until state 1500. So I think that's like in 3 or 4 weeks. So I'll do the 15 there. And then after that, I think I'll just try to race as much as I can till nationals. I think there's the Albie Thomas Mile, which I'd love to do. Maybe sneak an 800 in there as well, just because that might be good. But all depends on the coach, really, what he says. But I'm really keen for this Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's going to
So,
be sick.
so the 15's kind of
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
I thought I was an 800 runner. And then we had a bunch of guys like kind of join our squad, like Luke Boys, who I don't know
Oh,
if you
yeah.
know.
Did
Yeah,
he
so
win nationals?
he came third, but
Oh,
like,
right. Yeah, geez.
yeah, he just come second at Maury Plant like last night or 2 nights ago or something.
Yeah.
And he's a monster. He went from like, I don't know, 2 minutes to 146 in like, I think 18 months or something like that.
Yeah, wow.
So yeah, he got really good. And then there's a bunch of new blokes like Aiden Love, like a bunch of guys that just have like crazy raw speed. They were running like, low 50s and under in training and stuff. And I kind of realized, I was like, geez, I'm not really an 800 runner, am I, Gary? And he's like, well, you finally realized. I think the plan was to run the 15.
Mm.
I'd love to do some more 5Ks. I just think I need a bit more of a base. I think at the moment, the rest of this season, I'd probably get smoked. But yeah, 15s for now.
Yeah, that's exciting. Yeah. Because you had some pretty good progression in the 800 though, didn't you? Like,
I love the 800. I
Yeah.
reckon I've never suffered more in any distance than the 800, and I loved that. It was just like every single race just felt like it's quite good for me because I don't know, I don't think I'd break 50 in the 400. Whereas like a bunch of guys, like I think Luke's like 47 mid and stuff, and all the guys in Central Track and the other really good squads for that distance are rapid over 400. So for me, it's kind of like it's quite pure. I can just red line from the gun, which I really like. 1500 needs to be a bit more, I guess, tactical in how I approach it. But yeah, I'm keen to do more 8s. They're really fun. A lot of thumbing up afterwards.
yeah, far out. So much pain. Yeah.
So much fun.
Would
Yeah.
you describe them as fun as well, Dom? Or
It's fun when you're like fit, but I feel like if you're just doing it as a one-off, it's like, oh, this sucks. Like,
Yeah,
you have to really commit to it. Yeah.
It is horrific,
Mm.
but that's good.
Yeah, no, it is good fun though.
what about you, Dom?
Mate,
Training?
yeah, the last couple of weeks, we had the sun run, and then we had a Bucks party that night. So that was kind of good timing for me because, yeah, it was like a bit of a celebration after the race, and there was no pressure to keep running, but still got up and did the long run the next day a bit hungover.
Beautiful.
The title was really struggled in the heat, and then a few people were like, "Oh, I don't know if it was just the heat, mate." Like,
I can confirm by being there, it was not just the heat. I don't know how you did that, honestly.
yeah, nah, it was all good though.
Where was the Bucks? Was it anywhere cool?
It was
Oh.
over 2 days. We stayed in Coogee. There was a few
Oh,
different.
yeah.
Yeah, and there was that's you're referring to the Saturday night.
I am,
Dom? Yeah, we went to, what did we do? We went to Coogee Bowls, then we went to karaoke,
Korean barbecue.
and then Korean barbecue. Well, Korean barbecue
Oh.
before karaoke. So it was
It was good fun.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And then last week was not a bad week as well. Had like a 120K week, and I've been doing kind of like double threshold sort of stuff. So Tuesday morning, I'm jumping in with the group called East Elite, which is kind of just getting started with the run squad guys like Geordie Williams and his dad Warren. But there's a couple of pretty good guys there. Matt Dawson, who he had a really good run at the state 5K, but yeah, he's kind of been like my training partner there, which has been pretty good. And then Tuesday Arbos, we got Turbo. And then Thursday, we do another double session in the morning. It's pretty cruisy. There's like an airport running group that I've been running with. And then in the Arvo is the King's Cross or like community sort of track group. So yeah, those 2 days are pretty big. And then the week's just sort of structured around that. And then plus a Sunday long run. So yeah, I feel like I've got a good little routine at the moment. Just looked at getting a coach as well this week. So going to jump back in with the Distance Collective and Tim and Michaela.
They're
which
awesome.
should be good. Yeah. I think
That's so cool.
yeah, legend, really cool people, and they're good with the trail stuff at giving just all these little like 1% sort of tips that like I don't know, you just wouldn't even think about, like how to deal with the heat and nutrition and like training downhills and all that sort of stuff, which like you wouldn't really think about. So yeah, that's why I've gone with them. And yeah, looking forward to it. We got a month now until the Kunani races down in Hobart. Which yeah,
right.
should be good.
How long are they?
So there's like 3 races over 3 days. The first one's a vertical kilometer. So it's a 5K race, but you climb 1,000 meters.
Oh,
Yeah, so that one's going to be pretty cooked. Like it's pretty different to anything I've ever done before. And then the next day is 25Ks, but you run like up and down the mountain. So I think it's like 1,400 meters of elevation. And then the last day is just around the foothills of the mountains. It's like a 9K run, which I think is still a little bit of climbing, but not too bad. And then yeah, I think that'll be good prep for UTA, which is kind of like the big race for now in May. But
which UTA?
UTA 100. So
Yeah, sick.
yeah. No, I think everything's kind of building nicely. I took like a bit of time off before Christmas, and I've kind of been running like 110, 120K weeks. And now I think, I can start building a bit more and start doing a bit more hills and things like that. Still try and keep a bit of speed, hopefully, and go from there. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I had a
awesome.
look. It looks like you built some consistency now, Dom, with the
Feeling like I'm fit again. I think like, you take a bit of time off, and it's hard to get back into it the first couple of weeks, but it doesn't take long, like Zach, I guess, to get back into form. So yeah, no, it should be good.
With that those double session days, I'm so fascinated by it. Like I'm such a nerd. I'm good mates with Josh Phillips, and like, I don't know. I love hearing what different people do. But like, do you have to, that first? So your Tuesday, is that with Easterly?
Yeah, with East Elite, yeah.
So for Tuesday, like if there's some faster guys there, and then your Tuesday night, does that naturally become slower, or like do you really do it by feel, or do you pre-plan going in?
Yeah, I think like I haven't had a coach during this period, which I guess I should probably say. So I've kind of like been attacking like the East Elite session, like going pretty hard. And then Turbo is just sort of survive and get through it. I don't know if I'd call it double threshold. It's kind of just double workout day. Yeah, for me. And then Thursday morning is actually pretty chill. Like just pacing people or jogging around with the group.
Yeah.
And then Thursday afternoon is more like a proper session, kind of pushing yourself a bit harder
On the track.
So, it's kind of like a one proper session, one sort of moderate effort.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Have you jumped on the lactate testing kit yet, Dom?
No, not yet. But I think I'm gonna get it. I told like Michaela about like, this is what I've been doing. She's like, oh yeah, maybe try and get a heart rate monitor, and then we can start training to that. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I think that the paces probably will drop back a bit, and it probably will start being a bit more scientific, I guess. But
Have you used a heart rate strap before, Dom?
no, I never have. I think I'll just go with the arm one probably because they get pretty annoying on the chest. Like they get really hot and stuff, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stopped wearing mine a while ago just because I don't know, it just kind of it's probably good data, but it just felt a bit uncomfortable. I feel
Yeah.
like the wrist one is all over the place, but at least it's consistently all over the place so I kind of get an idea. But what about you, Zach? Do you use
Uh,
chest
I
strap
tried
or?
I tried a bit in winter, where the training's like a bit longer. So like if we're doing like, I don't know, more tempo work, say like a couple laps of the white fence, and it's like easier to overcook it, I guess, if you're going too hard. I tried to use it a couple times there. I guess in summer, like for me, it doesn't really matter, on like the harder sessions because my heart rate's going to be through the roof anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the chest one really annoyed me. It just feels weird putting it on and then it feels too tight. I don't know. I probably should get the arm one. Try it out.
Mm. Yeah, they seem like they're all right. I think that chest is still a little bit more accurate, possibly, but
Yeah.
I think that arm's good enough. So yeah.
I'd really like to do, I don't know if you do it, Dom, but those like testing centers that take you through the like the zone work and stuff where like I don't know. I know some of my mates at N-Swiss do it where like they get on the thing with the mask, and like figure out your zones pretty accurately. Would you do that or kind of just guess? Because I'm not sure
Um,
if it's worth it.
yeah, I think it'll probably just be a bit of guesswork.
Yeah, me
It's
too.
just, yeah, it's just I did my VO2 max testing once, which was pretty cool.
Okay.
Um, but that was when I was like kind of like peak fitness, so I don't
Yeah.
think it'd be the same. It's kind of like irrelevant now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe in the future if we'll see how this kind of experiment goes.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be good for this next little period. But if we're doing Gold Coast Marathon, I don't know that double threshold is the right approach, really. You probably want to be doing like more big sort of long sessions.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, it's good for now. And yeah, keen to kind of experiment with something new. I think, yeah, it keeps the running interesting. Can
Yeah,
get a bit
definitely.
dull sometimes
You
if
really
you're just
need
doing the
to.
same thing day in, day out. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What about you, Smitty? How's training going?
Training last 2 weeks have been quite questionable. As you know, I had a Bucks party and I had a bit of a different outcome to Dom. He got up in the morning and did his long run, but I sustained a very minor calf injury from the dance floor. I woke up and I was like, geez, I'm sore. I thought it was Dom's because of like just no dancing activity for a while and also getting a little bit older. But by Thursday, it didn't like settle down as much as it should have. It felt like almost post marathon levels of soreness, and I was like, this is
All right.
this is a bit red hot. I was messaging a few people, Chris included, who's actually done he's torn his calf before and has experience in that sort of thing. I was like, should it still be sore at this point? He's like, no, it should have cleared. Like, just be careful. So I think I went to the physio on the Friday, saw Paddy, and he kind of did. I think on Thursday I was actually like sort of limping around the city, and I was getting really worried. But I think a lot of it I was just getting in my head for sure. Like, and it probably wasn't as bad as I was thinking it was on the Thursday. But at that point, you're kind of just like, holy shit, have I torn my calf on the dance floor sort of thing. And then you obviously start Googling and talking to people, and then like the thoughts just kind of spiral everywhere. But
Yeah.
on the Friday I woke up and I was able to walk, like it like got a little bit better. So I was like, okay, can't be that bad. And then I went to see Paddy. He kind of did his tests and stuff like that. And he's like, look, I think it's very minor, but I would be cautious for like between 1 to 2 weeks. He said it could be like a very tiny grade 1 tear or just like a strain. So I just took it easy. I took that whole week off. It was nice to go and spectate because I was going to try and do State 5 as well, but I just obviously went and spectated. There was a lot of good results from the Delta running crew So that was nice to watch everyone. I think I might try and do. I think there's a race on 28th or something like that. So I'll try to do that. But yeah, anyway, the on Monday I went for a run and it was feeling like pretty much I couldn't feel pain, so it cleared really quickly. But then I just took this week conservative. Well, not really. I did the Delta session on Tuesday because it was feeling because it was feeling good. So I was meant to take this week conservative. If Tobias is listening, sorry. But but then yeah, it was feeling good, but I was still feeling a bit off, just like energy levels and stuff like that. So I went to the GP to do like a checkup, and I haven't been for ages, and they like they looked at my heart rate and stuff like that, and they were kind of concerned that it was um like so low. But I tried to explain to them, obviously, like with training and doing marathon stuff, like it's gonna be low. But they said it's still too, like it's a little bit too low even considering. So they booked me in to go to the bloody cardiologist. So
Far out.
yeah, so I haven't told you this, Dom, have I?
No.
Yeah, right, okay. So on Thursday, that was on Tuesday after the Delta session, and then yeah, Thursday I went to see the cardiologist. He did an ECG. He said it looks like unusual, but not with the context of a lot of running. But he said like it went straight over my head. But he said he still wants to do like an ultrasound. So they did an ultrasound to like check out the heart and everything like that. But they said it's all good. So, but I was a little bit stressed because obviously, like after the GP, I got a call and been like, "Look, we're booking." I've talked to another doctor and like we're booking. We want to book you into the cardiologist because it's like, there's a risk or something like that. So I was like freaking out on Wednesday, so I went on Thursday. Anyway, all good. I think, but a very expensive checkup, to be honest.
Mate,
So-
what happened at that Bucks party?
it was a big weekend. Let's just say that. I was in all sorts. But now moving forward, we're going to focus on. I think I'll take your approach, Zach, and well, I'm not going to nationals, that's for sure. But less drinking, more getting back on track for running. Yeah, but I think this week I still did a session on Friday, which was good, and then again, probably shouldn't have pushed it again. Sorry, Tobias. But and then Saturday, we did a long run today in Manly, which was good. Yeah, so keen to stay healthy and stay on track. Thanks for listening to my ramble.
Did you feel anything wrong like with your heart? That's so scary. Or was it kind of just the doctor's thing that they ordered and you had no idea?
Yeah, no, they basically like I was feeling a little bit just off and like going back to running. I don't know. I just didn't feel the same. So I was like, I should just get a checkup just in case something's up, just to do like blood tests and stuff like that and a general checkup because I haven't done that in ages. So yeah, and then because I have like the Oura Ring tracker, so they were looking through that sort of data.
It's cool they use that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the heart rate gets like in sleep, it says it gets to like 33 to 35 in that range.
Jeez.
And they were saying like
It's low.
yeah, like it's really like dangerously, like I was saying that potentially like the heart's not working properly, like it's not generating enough. I don't even know, but it's not like it's too low. Even considering like elite athletes apparently doesn't get down that low. So they just wanted to eliminate that there was any like pre-existing condition or something like that. So
Strong
yeah,
heart.
yeah, it was interesting 2 weeks, but yeah, let's get back to normality.
No, the reason I was interested is my fault. I'll just quickly go over it, but I did a session coming back from COVID and put myself in hospital.
Oh shit.
And with heart stuff. So that's why I was kind of curious because like
Yeah.
it's pretty wild like how many young like fit, I don't know, people that I know. And some obviously in the sport like with the worst of consequences, but like there's a lot of that going around at the moment. It's a bit scary. Like
Yeah.
I was the same. Like I had all my tests done just last week actually, and everything's normal apparently. But like it's just a bit freaky how much like I don't know heart abnormalities there are at the moment. I guess just with like young, healthy, fit people.
Yeah. I remember yeah, because I remember my parents were telling me a story like one of my dad's close friends ages ago was like super fit, healthy, and just when they were out, like I think on a hike, he had a massive heart attack and passed away. But because he just never got a checkup, and he was like he had like a um a condition where his arteries were like blocked, and they just didn't know about it because no one checked. You hear a lot of things like that where, like you said, Zach, if you're super fit, you just kind of don't know what's going on until you actually go and get it checked, I guess.
Yeah, yeah,
Did you go to cardiologist and everything, or well, obviously
yeah.
you're in hospital, so
Yeah. Well, they made me stay for I think it was like 4 days, which was quite gnarly.
oh
But
shit.
I saw this cardiologist got all the scans and like the ECG and everything done. Um, and yeah, normal apparently. But
Hmm.
it's just yeah. I mean, it's just kind of scary to think like that doing a session can destroy you like that, basically, or like even for yourself. Like there was no. I mean, I guess the nights out were a catalyst, but like
Oh yeah, yeah.
there was nothing specific that I guess you weren't stupid and had like 18 Red Bulls in one go. I get well,
No, no. I've had big nights out before.
yeah. So like it's just a bit of an unknown, which is like the worst part, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
Like COVID's pretty weird as well, though. Like that,
Yeah,
yeah,
COVID's
yeah,
ridiculous.
it's played with everyone's hearts a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
you just don't know
Yeah.
how you're gonna react to it. So in the session,
Oh,
what happened?
I was at so I was on a training camp in the mountains
Yeah,
and I tested positive. Well, people started testing positive. We won't go into that.
yeah.
And I tested positive on well, I did an easy run in the morning and like I knew I was hurting in the easy run. I was like, geez, I feel so off.
Mm.
And then I kind of went back to the town Oberon near where we were staying and I got like 2 rat tests and tested positive on both of them. So then I was like, all right, time to go home. So I went home. The whole drive down, I was like in my head, kind of like wanting a symptom, but I had no symptoms. So, like nothing, not even a runny nose. Like my heart rate was low. I wore the strap in the car on the way home, like
Yeah,
absolute goober, and
yeah.
nothing went wrong. And then I got home and I was like, oh, I'll be right. And nowhere was doing PCR tests, but then I found this like dingy place that did a PCR test. Anyway, long story short, that came back super quick and it said negative, and I was like, oh, stress, like we're on. So
Yeah,
then I
because you had no symptoms as well. So
had no symptoms. I was like, oh, faulty rats, or like I don't know, maybe I ate some like I don't know something that triggered it. And then I did a double that day, and it was like on my loop around my house, it's super hilly, and it was like 420. So I was like, oh, cool, I'm fine. I do a session at Narrabeen tomorrow, then I'll head back up to the mountains with the boys and do like the rest of the camp, which was like a week and a half. And then, I mean, I'm pretty lucky. I roped my mum into it, but I was like, Mum, we're going to do a session. She came and was just doing her like power walk around the lake while I was doing my set. I warmed up, 20 minutes felt cool. Strides and drills felt fine. And then I think Gary had given me like, I don't know, 16 by a minute or something. They were like minute reps. And like after the second one, I was doing like 3:10 pace. And I was like, oh, maybe I'm just tired. And it was like a hefty rest. It was like 90 seconds rest. And then it got up to like 3:40 pace on my ons. And I was like, yeah, I'm fucked. I should stop. And then as I was like jogging back, like cooling down now, I think I'd done maybe 6 reps. I like it's probably sounds worse than it is, but like everything just started tightening up. And I kind of thought it was asthma. But then like I got this real sharp pain, I guess, in my chest. And yeah, long story short, mum just like came back from her walk and I was like sort of like passed out on the side of like the car, just
Oh
pretty much,
shit.
yeah, just kind of like out of it. Like I didn't know my own name apparently and stuff.
Jeez.
And like, I was calling my mum. Shout out to Katie St. Lawrence. Love her. Betty's wife and a run crew coach. But I was calling my mum Katie. I was like, Katie, not again. And
Oh shit.
and mum obviously freaked out.
Oh yeah.
We went straight to the hospital. Yeah, and then I was there, went straight into emergency, which was kind of wild. Didn't really remember that, but then I was on like oxygen for maybe 2 days. And then yeah, 2 days later they let me out. But yeah, apparently it was heart, like they said it was heart issues caused by the COVID. So I tested positive then in the hospital a day after. So it was really weird. I don't know how I got that negative PCR test, but I went positive on the rat, came back negative, and then I was like, okay, cool, double in session. And then the session just put me in a hole, tested positive, and then yeah, it was weird. It was like once I was in hospital and like everything calmed down, I was kind of fine. And then like yeah, there was really nothing they gave me. They were just like, yeah, don't do exercise for 8 weeks. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Oh, no.
So then yeah, it's kind of Gary was very I tried to feed Gary selective information. So that so he wouldn't like make me not do anything for ages. But he kind of caught whiff of it pretty quickly. And he was like, yeah, no. So I think I took, this will probably sound stupid, but I think I took maybe like a week and a half or 2 weeks off, just everything. Just didn't do anything. And then did like 2 weeks of jogging. Sorry, it's just my brother. 2 weeks of jogging and then started like very low intensity sessions. But yeah, that was not long ago. It's like start of Jan.
Yeah. Wow.
Shit.
Yeah, like December. So, but yeah, anyway, I'm fine. But it's just more like,
Scary though. Fucking hell.
yeah, it's just
Mm.
weird, like, you know, and like you don't expect a 23-year-old person who's like loves mileage to be getting hard to shoot. But yeah, I don't know. I think next time I probably wouldn't have sessioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But understandable given you, yeah, given what you said. Like
I thought I was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was so fun. I thought I was completely. But anyway, it is what it is. I guess. Yeah, we're on the mend now. Hopefully, both of us. No more calf in the DF.
Yeah.
No more heart issues.
Yeah.
I think mine's pretty self-inflicted. Let's be real.
How do you think? Like, can you give us a rundown in terms of like the exact movement, or like how do you think you actually did it? Were you jumping? Did someone throw you in the air? What happened?
He was just over the course
Let's
of
just
the night.
say, yeah, over the course of the night, I did win best on ground though, so that's good.
Best on
But
It was getting a
True-
bit bendy.
yeah, I was like, I'm not sure if, yeah, anyway. I don't actually remember. I don't remember it. I just woke up sore. So
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. That was just,
no. Yeah. that was- Good night though. Good night. Worth it. Yeah, wow. Okay. Well, maybe could we go a bit into like your running background? Like, so how you got started in running and like how it progressed and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, I did 2 weeks of schoolies. I think that's where it started. So yeah, I did a period where I basically finished school because I guess in year 11 and below, I was very sport focused. Like I did everything kind of sport. Our school was small, so I went to Redlands and there wasn't like many people in each year group. So I guess like the sportier guys sort of did every sport rather than like specializing in one. So we were doing like, I guess, rowing. Keep in mind, we get smashed in rowing by like all the schools and stuff, but it was awesome. Like rowing, swimming, I guess a bit of running, nothing really. The only running I did was a couple 800s in high school, which was good.
Any
And-
good at that point?
I was 201 in year
Really?
12.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
But I never really trained or did anything, but I always had like some good friends in school, like a couple of years older than me, older boys that were like, oh, you'll be all right, like get into running, like, you know, it'd be fun to have you around. And I was always like, yeah, mate, whatever. Like I'll just go play basketball or soccer like with my mates. So I kind of put it off. And then I guess I did my schoolies and like a lot of partying and going out and drinking and everything. And I came back, and a friend of mine who I kind of knew through school, Max Mahon, he's in the States right now, I think for what's the college that Ed went to? I think it's Iona, the yellow one.
Yeah.
With Iona in New York. He invited me super randomly on this like run with him, Kieran Toole, and then I think it was Sam Hopper. And it was like those three blokes. And I was like, oh, geez, these guys. I did a little Instagram stalk, and, this is pre-running days. They're amazing now. But like when I was unfit, like I was a little chubby and stuff. And I was terrified. And we ran to the Birkenhead outlet, and it was like the most running. I'd love it nowadays. But back then I was like, what is this? This is just, we're just a bunch of blokes looking at shoes. Just, it was before I worked at Pace Athletic and became a shoe frother, I guess. But yeah, I was like, what is this? But then they were all super nice. I guess Kieran Toole especially. They were all really nice to me. And it's so random. I shouldn't admit this, but my card declined when I was wanting like a pair of Pegasus. And Kieran was like, nah, mate, it's all good. I'll spot you. And he like added it to his pile of like 18 shoes that he just bought. And then he was like, all right, instead of paying me back or something, I said something to rope me into like a Narrabeen run with them next. And then, yeah, I guess from that run, I was like, this is pretty cool. Like I got a pretty good post run high and like also some new mates. And then Max's, I don't even know how he knew Run Crew, but he knew someone at Run Crew and he put me in touch with them. And this was kind of like end of the year. Just after that was the Boxing Day sales actually, and then I emailed Gary and I emailed Run Crew and I was like, hey, I'm keen to join. And this was like right before the Saturday, so Saturday was New Year's Day, and I was like, cool, I'm keen to join. I'll come to the Saturday session. They're like, all right, cool. At 6:30 at Saturday, Centennial Park, blah blah blah. And then New Year's Eve, I had a monster of a night out. So it was like it was like 5:30, and I was walking back over the Harbour Bridge in like my town clothes. Was not making this session. I emailed Gary because he'd responded to my email, and I was like, Gary, mate, like, I'm not going to make it. And then they didn't like. He kind of just replied and was like, oh yeah. And then I was like, oh no, this guy thinks I'm just an absolute tosser. And then I kind of put it off for another month. Because I was like, nah, I don't really want to do it. Like they all seem very serious. At the time, I was like, oh, Run Crew seems so serious and scary and stuff. And then I joined, met heaps of new people, was last for probably a year. And then I kind of ran my first 10K ages ago. Like, God, this would have been like 2019 or 2020. No, 2019. 2020 was COVID. And I ran, and in school, like breaking 45 was like, you're pretty good. Compare that to now with like all the 12-year-olds that are running like 30 minutes and stuff. But like in my little bubble of like friends, 45 minutes, you're a god. So I ran 35:35 because that was like, I was stoked with, that was like my iPhone password for like a year because I was so I was like,
that's so good.
How cool is this? 35 minutes. And I was stoked. And then from that moment, I think I was hooked. And like made, Benny St. Lawrence is a great friend and a huge role model. Tiger, Gary Howard's my coach. And he's amazing. Katie's amazing. And like, I guess all my friends and stuff, well, the majority of my friends in my circle nowadays, because my life is so revolved around running, I guess, are from Run Crew and just the people that I've met, I guess, in other squads as well. So that's sort of how I'm hooked. And then I guess a year ago, I got properly hooked. I think, I don't know when it was, but it was like kind of around that period when Stewie started running really well, Stewie McSwain. And I kind of hadn't seen, it was similar because I love football, soccer. And I hadn't seen any Australians really do that well in football and soccer, right? So it's easy to disassociate yourself and be like, oh, we're not great. And then I saw like Stewie run real well, and then like a bunch of domestic people ran really well here. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I probably want to give this more of a go than I have been. I was sort of doing like the 60 to 80K weeks then, which I know is a lot for someone new to it, but like it didn't really bother me. And then I was like, no, I want to give it a bit more of a crack. And have been like obsessed since then. And this is when I was working at Pace. So I'm like speaking to all different people, like Jerome from Delta would come in all the time, like all sorts of like coaches and athletes and just frothers, like just the grandma that did UTA 100, like that type of person. And I guess like, yeah, it was just being exposed to everyone, and I just got more and more hooked. And then now I'm just obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you started, so what did you go into? What kind of training program did you go into when you first started? Do you remember?
It was like a very introductory kind of thing. Like the guys at Run Crew, the coaches were very cautious. I'd always had a background in sport. I liked the gym, so I found like my body kind of held up decently, I guess. But yeah, I sort of did very basic stuff. Like it was just 2 sessions a week. Long run was probably like, I don't even know, maybe like 60 minutes to start. Like it was very, very basic type stuff, you know, like, and I think when I first started, I was running like 30 minutes, maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 60 minutes Sunday, and like, I think Tuesday night, and then Saturday morning session. That was it. And like the sessions would be super chill. Like I think 2 laps of the white fence. I saw on Strava, like my original first session, it was like 2 laps of the white fence at 3:51 pace. And I was like, wow. But yeah, it's they were very relaxed. And then I guess only recently, maybe like middle of last winter or start of winter last year, I kind of said to Gary, I was like, oh, I'm pretty happy to throw the kitchen sink at it in terms of like mileage, training, everything, like nutrition and stuff like that. So I think I've only really probably ramped it up to where like I'm quite switched on about my training now, maybe like 8 to 10 months. Before I was sort of just ambling, and I was probably a nightmare to coach Paul, Ben and Gary. I just didn't really listen.
Well, that's fair. So after you ran 35, like how did you progress from there?
I ran a couple shockers after that. Cause like after running 35, I was like, oh my God, I'm God's gift to running. Like, this is incredible. I'm so weapon. And then you make all those stupid mistakes that you do, like when you start doing something properly. Like I remember very vividly, there was this Sydney Harbour 10K. And I think I was like staying up late with friends the night before. My dinner was like soup. So like there was no carbs, no nothing. I think I woke up in the morning and I just didn't eat breakfast because I was like, no, I want to feel light, and like, you know, just stupid things. And then I ran rubbish there. So I ran like probably a couple like 37-minute runs in the 10K. I guess that's really what I wanted to do at the start. I was like, 10K, that's pretty cool. And then heaps more mistakes. Like I'd watch a YouTube video and it'd be like, do running barefoot. It'll make you stronger. So that I'd do like 40% of my mileage on an oval at barefoot, and like just stupid. And I'd get injured and like, yeah. So heaps of stuff like that. I think I didn't break 35 in the 10K. No, actually, this is embarrassing because it's like a standing joke with my squad mates. But like my nickname in a lot of group chats was 3530 because like yes, I would train Lockie Townsend and a bunch of my mates who hate the whole like, oh, I'm in shape to do this chat. We're gonna give me a lot.
That's fair.
But like I was training with like a bunch of guys that are probably more like 31 and 30. And I hadn't run a 10K, so it was still 35. So I didn't really break it for a while. And then I raced Sydney 10 last year with pneumonia and very poorly pulled out at 7K, which in hindsight, for all the shit I got from my mates, I should have just jogged it in. I really should have. It was so dumb. Like, I mean, I probably, from a medical standpoint, I probably should have stopped or just not raced. But from like a pride and ego standpoint, I should have just jogged it in and just said that I popped. But it sounds a bit like Jakob being like, "Oh yeah, I lost because I was sick."
Yeah.
But
At least you finished the race though.
yeah, exactly.
Whoa,
So-
Dom.
No.
Whoa.
It's fair. It's fair. It's fair. It's fair. We try and like give each other as mates so much stick about stuff like that. So it's not like ingrained that if things get tough, you just DNF. So
Mhm.
like, especially with the juniors, we try to set a role model. Like if you say you're going to enter and you toe the start line, like you finish the race, doesn't matter how bad you go. So that was probably a poor role model, but I mean, I learned my lesson again from that. So I'm happy. And then I did the bridge run or the Sydney Marathon Festival 10K. In September, I think, or August. And this was in 23, I ran 31:50 or 45 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was a weird race because like Ed Goddard and like Josh and the quick guys like went off from the start. Like their first K was probably well under what I thought I could run. So they were off. And then we kind of just formed a pack. And then that last hill kind of ruined me. But I'd be really keen. I think I'm going to run Sydney 10 this year,
Nice.
which is flat, and just probably go after a quicker time, which I'd be keen to finally get one on the board. The 10's a bit cursed for me, to be honest.
Have you changed? Has the name been changed in the group chats?
No.
Come on, guys.
I mean, we all laugh at each other's blow-ups. Like I ran an 800 one time where I went out in 51 and then closed in, I think like, I don't even know what I closed in, like maybe 70 seconds. Like my mum could have beaten me in the second lap of that race. So some pretty bad blow-ups. But yeah, it's funny because it's all learning, I guess. It shows that like you really, really do need to be in the sport for quite a while to kind of learn from those mistakes, I guess. Because yeah, you make plenty of them. And it's funny, like it teaches you to be a lot tougher as well, I think, because you got to sort of, I don't know, not only not blow up, but like hold yourself back, and then also manage that expectations versus reality of, I want to run 30 minutes, but I'm probably not fit enough to run 30 minutes. So I should go out at 31. And yeah, anyway, it's a whole rabbit hole. But yeah, I'm happy to have finally broken 35:30.
How do you go in? How do you go like holding yourself back or like discipline in sessions? Has that changed quite a lot?
I was shocking.
Yeah.
I was atrocious. The way we approach training is like I guess we train hard, but the Thursday is probably more of our focus. So that helps me a lot mentally because even in the winter, we'll still do 3 sessions a week. Just me being a middle distance guy, I guess. So that's kind of my bit where I get to take off the leash, I guess, and go harder. Tuesday is usually more like longer aerobic stuff. I've really enjoyed swapping from the night at the track to like the morning, which has been amazing because it's at 6:30, so it's like you get it done pretty quick. But it's also like, as I was saying earlier, like it's just quite the opposite of being splits focused. Like it's more just an aerobic grind of a session, like K reps, mile reps, kind of like broken efforts, fartleks, that kind of stuff. So it's a bit more like long sustained, which is nice. And then Saturday is usually a tempo with some shorter stuff. But yeah, I find I used to be shocking, but then it's just more of a maturity thing, I think, as a runner. Like you realize, if you have 8 by a K and you go out at your 3K pace, and then you get to like maybe 2 or 3K in and you're already cooked, you probably, within yourself that you're not going to get the same benefit as if you do it at a pace that you can hold for all 8. And that took me, it's easy for me to say now, but it took me like literally 3.5 years to learn that. And I'm still not good with it at the moment. But yeah, it helps having teammates around you, but it's also hard because sometimes you just want to run with your mates, but they could be way too quick so it's a balance.
Yeah, it's not an easy one. It's not an easy one. I'd like to say that I've gotten better at it, but every Tuesday,
do you just bang it?
I probably go out. I probably run too hard. Let's be real. But yeah, you just got to keep trying to rein it in, I guess. But yeah, you do get a little bit better as you get older. What about you with that, Dom? Like,
Oh
You,
yeah,
you'd,
like still battling with it. Yeah, like it's always tempting just to be like, yeah, the hero on the first couple reps, and then
Absolutely.
you're just in a hole and can't finish the session. Like,
I find I always want to PB in my sessions or like make sure my splits are like, you never want to be going backwards, but sometimes
yeah,
there's other factors where you're like, I don't need to be like at my best in this session, but yeah, I
yeah.
don't know.
When you take a step back though, like if you ran the session at like 80% and we're maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 seconds off the pace every rep, like you're probably going to get the same benefit
Yeah.
as like if you had hit the correct pace. Whereas like if you go out too quick and blow up, yeah, you're only going to get like, I don't know, maybe 60% of the benefit if that's how long you lasted in the session. So yeah, like you take a step back and it's like, okay, like it makes sense to train way easier, but it's easy to get carried away and everyone does.
Yeah. For me, the big one's K reps, like just going out way too hard. And then
Yeah.
it's just backwards from there. Um, so when you said you're taking it like saying you're going all in, what would you say has changed? Like, what are the big changes you've made?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think it was just because I've always been, I guess, quite career driven as well. I probably didn't allocate enough, not enough time, but enough like, I guess, thinking and like just consideration to my running when I approach like a week of just my life. So like, I'd be more focused on, work or something else. Whereas like now, not that I'm less focused on work or anything like that. It's just more like one of my best mates is really, really, strict about this kind of stuff. He's got like a diary and stuff like that. So I try to copy what he does, but he like tracks his sleep just with like a, noughts and crosses kind of thing. And he just goes like, I want 8 to 9 hours a night, which is not always doable, but just focusing and just being aware, I guess, of like sleep, nutrition. Not really big with the supplements and things like that. It's more just anything to not keep me to keep me healthy and not get sick. So I'm just like, I guess, magnesium and stuff. But like, I it's more just for me, it was more just thinking about it every single day. So like, okay, well, let's just say like it's a Thursday. I've done my morning run and then I've done my session. But like, what did I do, I guess, to, recover? Did I eat directly after, like I've got to eat directly after my session so I can do my Friday morning run? Like, it's more just, I don't know, that big triangle that you kind of see in every single nutritionist's office ever.
Yeah.
Like just, I guess, thinking about everything in that thing, but especially the bottom pillars, not just what splits. Because I think I fell victim to just being focused on like the sexy parts of running, like, what shoes am I going to wear to the session, pack my spikes in my bag. But like, yeah, just little things like I pack food now to my sessions, so I eat it in the car directly afterwards, with like my protein shake as well, and like making sure that now at sessions I always have like I'll have water just to wash anything down, but like also a thing of like electrolytes and then maybe like a gel to have halfway through if it's like a long session with lots of break, and just little things like making sure, I guess, what I'm eating is right in terms of like, I guess, distance runners especially. I don't know if you guys have any experience with this, but I got pretty bad at like, I guess, under eating for a while, because like you can do, especially if you're doing 2 runs a day, I feel like you do the first run and then you eat because you're hungry, but then you almost have like a suppressed appetite mentally because you're like, oh, I don't want to feel too heavy on my evening run, like I got to get it done. But then also if you're doing mileage, like Dom, you're doing a fair bit as well, like I feel like you need to have quite a lot as distance runners. So yeah, just getting enough food in as well was a big thing for me. So I'm pretty focused on that. But for me, it's really just like, it's just sleep and nutrition are my big things. Because I don't really stretch. I don't really like stretching. I don't think it does anything for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I like rolling. My brother has got those Normatec boots. So I go into his room all the time and steal those. But yeah, for me, it's just the sleep and the eating for me is just huge. So I've just been focusing on that more. And then with that, I can take on more mileage. I can do harder sessions, and then I can recover better, kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, right. Do you do any gym as well, or?
Yeah, I go to have you guys had a 4D?
Yep.
Probably they're quite prolific on social media. Yeah, I have always been like a YouTube gym type of dude. You know, I always went to like the gym with my mates in high school just for abs for the girls kind of thing. Like it was just super vain, non-functional, just dumb stuff. But then, yeah, I guess I kept getting this like because my two things that just always get me are like my Achilles and my sickness stuff. So I wanted to fix my Achilles. So I went to these guys 4D because Ed actually recommended it to me. Um, and they've been incredible. Like I've never really had it. I guess it's like what N Swiss does for the athletes, but for 99.9% of us, we're not at N Swiss, but they kind of do like a holistic overview of like, I guess who you are, what your training load is, everything, what your prior injuries are. Then they do like specific testing on like your strength and your balance and your mobility and all sorts of stuff. And then I think it's every 8 weeks they test me again or every 6 weeks. And then the program kind of comes out on like a little app. And then I'll just go into the city twice a week to do that. I tried 3 times a week for a bit, but my legs were too heavy for sessions. I didn't have like the snap. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, gym 2 times a week is pretty good. And then on one of the days, I'll lift pretty heavy. And then on the other day is usually like lighter stuff with pliers. But what do you guys do for gym? I'm pretty curious as to what others do.
Dom?
Yeah, like I got a gym membership, December maybe, and I got pretty into it. Like I was lifting heavy, like I don't know. I think I went one week I went to the gym like 6 times. Then since then it was only like I don't know, going to the gym 2 or 3 times. And yeah, trying to like do like 3 sort of heavy lifts throughout the week.
Yeah.
Which would be like a deadlift, a squat, and like a hip thrust or something like that. But yeah, I think now I'm kind of like getting back into running and my running's starting to ramp up a bit. Gym has just dropped off a bit. And I cancelled my membership this week. So
Oh, Dom!
Yeah.
Cancelled it. Lucky you didn't get locked into an 18-month contract like
Yeah.
like in the past.
Yeah.
Did you call up? Did they try and save your business?
No, they were pretty cool about it. They're like, yeah, there's like a 1 month cancellation. Like, yeah, sure, that's fine.
Sure, they didn't say, Dom, as a runner, you should be doing strength.
Yeah, that's what they should have said.
Yeah.
You should work at Gym Smith. What about your gym? How's it been going?
Oh, my gym stuff came long overdue after I had a bit of a hamstring issue. So but I've still been keeping it super basic and not in an actual gym, just doing like using a 15 kilo kettlebell and doing some like basic deadlifts, calf raises, which I need to go back to, obviously, and some squats. Takes about 15 minutes. I'm a little bit concerned that it's going to start not doing anything. But at least mentally, at least I'm like I'm doing strength.
No, but
Yeah. Oh, what's like how long do you spend in the gym, Zach?
probably 90 minutes per session. So they're pretty long.
Yeah, wow.
I guess like the biggest thing is like those heavy lifts. I try and take like a bit of time to recover because they fry me. Like I don't know about you guys, especially you, Dom, when you're doing the heavy stuff. No shade to the 15 kilo.
That's right, man. I get it. It's all good.
But like, yeah, I take a bit of time with that. And then I don't know, I just guess the reason I like 4D more than anything is because like all the weird running exercises, like there's this one that like helps my hips so much, but like I'll try to describe it. It's basically you're in like a downward dog yoga pose. I'll try to describe it without being explicit. And you're kind of like tilting your hips and you're tucking your pelvis like in and out. I guess twerking in this downward dog yoga pose. And like it's really good, but it is horrific to look at. So I kind of like the fact that 4D is like a very athlete centric, gym where there's people that are doing exactly that and like all these weird single leg exercises with 2 kilo dumbbells, and you just look like an absolute flop. But um, I guess that's been one of the most enjoyable things. Like there's coaches there that are all for like the specific sports, and sounds like an ad, but yeah, I don't know. I just think it's quite cool having somewhere that's like very running focused. Whereas like I wouldn't even do like, I'm trying to think of something weird. Well, not even weird. I wouldn't even do like a single leg RDL in at Fitness First, because like it just, you
Yeah,
you
no
stand
one's doing
to a
it.
dude who would like bicep curl my body weight.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'd go in and I'd just catch myself trying to like squat as much as I could, and then I wouldn't be able to run quick for like a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I
Doing
spend
hip thrusts at any
doing
time.
hip. Yeah.
Yeah. It's yeah, that's probably part of the reason why we cancelled.
Yeah.
Hang on, Dom.
Embarrassing.
So what's the plan moving forward, mate, with your strength work?
Oh, I've got a couple dumbbells at home. I think I'll just do a smitty. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to borrow my kettlebell?
Yeah.
Or you can join me.
But yeah,
He's like,
I don't know.
ah.
I think that's a part of it though, like having a good kind of environment and like people around you who are supporting you going to
Yeah.
the gym. Like that's what I hate the most about it. It's just boring and like I can do it on my own.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
And
don't know.
we're weak. Like, let's be honest. Like compared to like legs, sure. Like we can probably all be decent at that, but like in comparison to everyone else at the gym, like we're very skinny.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I feel like it's so underrated, especially amongst guys. Like guys probably don't talk about it as much, but it's just like you can still go to I feel like the relationship with the gym and like how people perceive it is probably why people aren't into it. Because like on this training camp, Oberon's such like a weird place, but like, you'd think that it's just like a country town, but it had this like state of the art gym. And like all my mates that were there, apart from me and Luke boys, who were just gym rats, we love it. We love all the pre-workout and stuff. But the boys, like some of our 10K runners who have like never set foot in a gym in their life, they were frothing it because like the gym was completely empty. It was just me and Luke, and like it's more like a fun, supportive environment rather than like I feel like a prepubescent child. So yeah, I don't know. It's tough. Maybe just get Smithy's routine.
Yeah, that's not going to do anything for Dom. I need to get in the gym. Bloody hell. Anyway.
Anyway.
What do you reckon, Dom? Should we do your segment? We have
Yeah, sure. We've kind of answered a few of the questions already, but
true.
usually we kind of just run through sort of running lifestyle questions.
Yeah, please.
So shoe choice, what shoes are you running with at the moment? What does the rotation look like?
I love high drops, like high drop, more stable type things. So I'm running in at the moment. One of my grandpa shoes is the Kayano 29s. It's a bit of an old one, but it's just good on my Achilles. It's a bit of a slower one for doubles and stuff like that, warm-ups at the track. I really love the new Triumph 21 from Saucony. It's amazing. It's probably my favorite shoe. It was shoe of the year for me last year. The Pace Athletic boys and girls absolutely love it. Like I think it's so good. It's like 10 mil drop, nice and stable. Like I reckon I get maybe 600 to 800 Ks out of it. Like it's pretty durable. I love it. And then I really like the Vomero, like the Vomero 15, I think, just because I've got a really narrow foot. It's really nothing special. Doesn't feel amazing, doesn't feel rubbish, but it's just like a good kind of workhorse shoe. I got the Nova Blast 4 recently, the new one.
Yes, I love them.
Oh, mate, that is amazing.
It's a great shoe.
Oh, it's so good. Like, I spoke to a mate, I think Liam Wolford, who's like he's a funny bloke. We won't get into it, but he's a bit of a cult hero. But Wooly recommended the Nova Blast and was like, oh, it's like not as fun, like, it's a bit more stable. And then I put them on because that's more what I wanted. And I fly in the shoe. I reckon it's so fun. Like it's quick. Like if I'm doing strides after a run, when I'm doing strides, I hope Gary didn't. I put on the Nova Blast because it's like a quicker long run. I find it's really good. So that's a great shoe. I ran in the Cloud Monster for a bit, but the drop kind of irritated me. And then got one of the new Puma shoes actually, which Gary gave me. I'm looking at it right now. I have no idea what it is, but it's like the Forever Nitro or something like that. It's their supportive shoe.
Yeah.
Can you grab it?
Yeah, are you happy to wait like 2 seconds?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Let me grab it. Ugh.
Sorry.
No, that's good. Content, mate.
Yeah, true. Please hold. Do-do-do-do-do. Should we get some elevator music?
Yeah.
It's this thing. It's like
Okay.
Nice.
yeah, it actually looks pretty good, but it's got like this weird orthotic in it, with like a little bit of like a met dome, like a metatarsal dome
Yeah.
under your foot, and then like the back has got like a pretty nice guide rail. Sorry, I'm such a shoe nerd, but the back's got like a nice guide rail to like lock your Achilles in. It is super narrow. Like that's the one thing I'll say about Puma. Like I found they're very like narrow shoes, but yeah, I have like a women's width foot, so it works for me. And then sessions I kind of swap between the Vaporflies for the track. I always wear the Vaporflies on the track. And then on more of like the dirt Centennial stuff, I wear the Adidas Pro 2, which I really like the Adios one. Just because like I find for longer, more tempo work, the Vaporfly is probably a bit too unstable for my feet. Like I don't
Which one, Zach?
the new one.
The new one, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
3.
Three? Yeah, 3.
Yeah. How'd you find between the 2 and the 3?
I wasn't sure at the start. I really wasn't sure. But I really like the 3. I think just like the upper for me feels a lot more like, I don't know, it's more of a feel for me, but it feels a lot closer to the ground, and like a lot snappier. I think my favorite shoe of all time was probably the Next Percent 1 or like the Flyknit 4%.
4%. Yeah.
Those
Great
were
shoe.
those were incredible. They
That
look
was the first experience with carbon plate. Well, for me.
yeah.
And I was like, there is some justification to the hype. Let's be real.
Same. Like I ran City to Surf, I think 2019 in the 4%. And I drove to Ed Goddard's house at like 10:30 that night before, because he was like, yeah, you can borrow them, mate. It's all good. And he was asleep and he'd left them out, and I picked them up and I was like, holy shit, like we are on. And
Yeah.
there was definitely a lot of placebo in there as well. But
Yeah.
I remember running that like hilly City to Surf course and I was like, this is sick. But yeah, and then spikes, Dragonfly. But then I just bought the new On Cloud Spike 10
Oh, yeah.
one, which is I've just done 200s in it, but it feels awesome. So I'll be racing in that on Thursday, which will be really cool. So I'm excited. That's kind of my shoes.
Yeah, right. Looks like that on one's got a bit of foam on it, does it? Or
Yeah, I've actually got it here.
Nice. Dom content.
yeah.
But yeah, it's
Oh, nice. Look at that.
Oh wow.
yeah. So it's quite like, so underneath it's got like that's a plate, which feels like a lot different to the Dragonfly, because the Dragonfly is more that kind of foamy material.
Yeah.
This heel is kind of like this, like a wedge there, so it's almost like a divot underneath it.
Mhm.
And then the forefoot looks gnarly. Hey,
Yeah, geez.
you can't really put it on anything, but like that's it, just standing up straight. So I guess like
Yeah.
when I put it on, my heel's like very much off the ground, so it's quite. Yeah, they feel wild. They're very. Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize it just said lightning range on the inside. That's sick.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I just frothed the color. I frothed the brand. And I was really keen. A bunch of the boys in my squad had them, and I was like, I'd be so keen just to. I think there's a bit of like, I just want to wear. Not that I have anything against Nike. It's just I kind of wanted to wear something that wasn't a Dragonfly, I guess. And I was super, super pleasantly surprised, and I wore them, and they felt amazing. So, yeah, they're sick.
Yeah, no, they look awesome.
Yeah, but I love shoes. I try new shoes all the time.
Yeah, no, it
Yeah.
sounds like quite the range you've got.
What okay, this is probably a dumb question, but is there a plate in spikes?
Yeah. In this bike there is.
Okay.
Like that's the plate. It's like a spike plate so that so that the spikes attach into it. I feel like there is a carbon plate in here as well. I actually don't know. I know in the Dragonflies there's a plate,
Okay, there
um,
is. Yeah, okay.
like a nylon-y plate, I think. Geez,
Mhm.
Tom Decanter is going to shoot me if I'm wrong. But I think there's a nylon plate in the Dragonflies. And then in the Zoom Victory, which was those Nike ones with the bubble in the front, the Zoom units, I know they had a carbon plate. So it was a bit more aggressive of a shoe,
Right.
which you really felt. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Spikes nowadays are just ridiculous. Like even just looking at this thing, the amount of foam that's like under that forefoot. I guess like my coach Benny Saint and like some of the older runners, I guess. Not that Benny's old. Sorry, Benny. Uh, they used to, I guess, run in the same stack of that spike for a marathon. So it's definitely changing.
Yeah.
Um, I guess I'm pretty lucky to be sort of running track at the time where we've got all this crazy stuff and we can benefit from all these high stack shoes. But yeah,
I feel like, yeah, like all the shoes though, it's like a good time to be buying shoes right now. Like,
it's awesome. Yeah.
like just the everyday runners have gone to like another level. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, the racing shoes, everything is just awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those Nova Blasts, I wore in the Friday session because I was under instruction to keep a lid on the pace. So I was like, all right, let me wear my Nova 4s.
Yeah.
It didn't help though. They fell quick.
That's a good endorsement.
Yeah, yeah.
No, they're so good. And then the Super Blast, actually, I didn't mention that, but mine are a bit cooked now, so I've retired them. But they were like, I use them for my long runs for like maybe the last 6 months.
Oh wow.
They were insane, like incredible. You know,
Yeah.
like, I could do a tempo in them just fine. Like they were snappy and quick enough to do proper fast stuff, but then also like you could jog in them if you couldn't be bothered getting out and you just wanted to put on like an exciting shoe.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was also an amazing show. I know there's been so much hype about that anyway, but yeah, I was unsure, and especially working at a shoe shop and seeing like I guess shoe retail price versus wholesale price. I was like, I'm never going to buy another pair of shoes at retail price. Like, just never. Even if it's 10%, sure. And then I massively succumbed to the price. Wooly basically bullied me into the hype of this shoe. I was so excited. Tom Decanter was like, "Oh, it's a stable, quick, long run shoe. Like you need it." I was like, so then I saw them. I saw them after they'd been unavailable for like literally it was a week. I'm so pathetic, just the consumerism. And I bought them full crack from ASICS, paid in tipping. It was like $350. And I loved every cent. I was
Yeah.
like,
They are good. I even brought them on the trails.
yeah, seriously, they're
Yeah,
amazing.
they're good.
So yeah, that's me and my shoes.
Yeah, awesome. Good insight. The next one is, I think you've kind of like given a couple tips already, but diet. Is there anything sort of in particular? I think you said you're bringing your meal to training to get something
Yeah.
after quickly. Are there any other little sort of tips or theories that you stick to?
I think like it's all relevant to what you're doing. And I'm by no means an expert. I'm just kind of repeating what people have told me. But like, I guess for me, and I guess for anyone that's on reasonably high mileage, or high for them, or even just working a lot and training, because I feel like work destroys you as well when you're trying to focus on training hard. I think just eating a lot and like being cognizant that like maybe you're not full, but just eat. So like snacking throughout the day. I'm just saying things that would help me, but like, yeah, I just really focused on eating as much as I could. Like if I'd finish, I'd try have dinner almost a bit earlier so that I could have something else before bed. And whether that's just like either dessert, like ice cream or whatever, like just something garbage, or like yogurt and fruit, or even just like 6 Weet-Bix and honey, just like anything I could kind of get in. I've really noticed like a massive difference with my energy on runs. Like even just doing the dinner, like maybe not at 7:30, or it's hard if you have a job and you got a double, but like doing dinner earlier and then a later snack right before bed, I guess. I know some people say don't eat before you go to bed, and then having food before my run. I feel like that morning run then is like not only naturally way faster, but I also recover way better from it. So for me, it's just, I think the quantity, like if a new runner asked me, I'd just say like quantity of food is really important. And then I guess the higher you train as well, quality comes into it. Just like, yeah, I don't know. whatever a dietitian would ever say, fruit, veggies, protein, that kind of stuff. But yeah, for me, I just focus massively on carb intake because like even just a lot of my friends and just people that I know in the sport that are elite, non-elite, kind of have all these gnarly like femur stress fractures and all this crazy bone stuff that has been diagnosed as coming from undereating, which freaks me out. So yeah, I mean, the stress fracture is like the enemy of every runner. So I guess when I heard a while ago that it could come from undereating, it freaked me out, and I was like, yeah, no, not a chance. So I touch wood. I just started eating like as much as I could, and like you know, I'm a stick figure. Like you don't put it on at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really complicated topic, I guess, with runners and food and that kind of stuff.
I guess like if you're going to the gym and running as well, like
Yeah,
the strength you're going to get from the gym will sort of outweigh being a bit lighter anyways, hopefully. So
yeah, definitely,
um,
definitely.
yeah, no, I think it makes sense to eat more and then you can run more and then you can get faster anyways. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and then
think
eat more.
my mum's been absolutely grilling me because she thinks I've been under eating. I'm not sure if that's just because she's Italian and that's what they do. But yeah, she definitely agree with you. But like sometimes, yeah, like you said, if you're not hungry, it's probably still good to eat because like I find maybe even after like a hard session, your appetite's not like 100% there.
Oh, it's not there at all.
Yeah, and you have to like your
Yeah,
body just needs, even like after those big long runs, you're like, my body just needs fuel, and
yeah,
my appetite's like, nah, sorry. But yeah, that's a challenge because if you just let it slide, you realize you've burnt like I don't know how many calories, and
crazy amounts. Yeah.
you're not replenishing the food. Well, how do you go with that, Dom?
Getting
Like
food.
yeah, like do you is your appetite like all over the place after those harder sessions, or do you
Yeah.
consciously have to force yourself as well?
Yeah. Usually like, I don't know, I can generally eat, but like the middle distance stuff that like Zach does, like
Yeah,
after you've done a session
worse.
like that where you've got like a lactic headache and stuff, you just
Yeah.
feel like death. You just want to lie in bed and
Yeah,
I don't know, just
okay.
want it to go away. Like
Couldn't
that's
describe
the
it
worst,
better.
I reckon. Like, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
Yeah.
but
Fair.
yeah,
But yeah, look, I've done what you said, Smitty, about like the long run. You do your long run, say you finish at like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever. And then like just say like for whatever, you just like, oh, I'm not going to eat. I used to do this all the time. I'm not going to eat like, I'd feel a bit sick from the long run. If it's 2 hours, like it's a long time, just choose your gut and longer for you probably don't. And
Yeah.
and then like I found I didn't eat. And then that initial spike of like hunger that comes at like, I don't know, midday or something, it's if you don't eat, that drops. And then it's like dinner time and you've had a banana.
yeah,
Yeah.
And
That's,
you like, yeah, it's too late. You're like in a hole then for the next 3 days.
yeah, that's what like mum will be like, have you had any food? I'm like, little bit.
Yeah.
And then I get grilled. So
Yeah. I
yeah, but it's
find
true.
routine helps.
Yeah.
Like I saw a nutritionist because like I was like a dietitian, sorry, not yeah, whatever. It's probably same thing.
Yeah.
And because I had that issue, like I couldn't eat, and I was like to this dietitian, listen, like I'll finish the session and I won't, like I could maybe get down a protein shake, maybe, but like I can't eat for 2 or 3 hours, and like
Mhm.
it was actually kind of wild, like the habits that I built in to like, I go to my car now and it's almost like a thing that I do in addition. It's like part of my session. Like I go to my car, I just put on music, just chill out, put the aircon to like 18 degrees in my car. So I'm like really low the body temperature. And now it's just like a habit that I eat. So
Yeah.
yeah. And I don't know, I find it so beneficial to recovering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's good.
It's
Yeah.
crazy, but mental.
Yeah.
yeah,
That'll be a focus for me, especially going to marathon block.
No.
Yeah, I think I don't know, sometimes when you're training, like even when you're training well and like you're running well, you kind of forget about other little things sometimes, or maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, no,
Um,
definitely. I do it
yeah.
all.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, cool. What is there another?
yeah. Next one is like supplements or I don't know, food hacks. Like, have you ever done eat like beetroot in the lead up to a race or taking bicarb?
Yeah.
coffee, that sort of stuff.
I guess I'll put a disclaimer that I'm a caffeine junkie. I guess like working in finance, like a lot of my friends, colleagues, and people around me are like massive caffeine people. Like, if you say like 6 cups of coffee a day, and they're like, "Oh yeah, standard." But like, I'm probably like maybe 3 cups of coffee a day. I decreased that, so I feel like I'm good now. But my friends that don't drink coffee think I'm like a drug addict. But I have a fair bit of caffeine before I race. Like, those no-dose pills.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to like find the best way to do it. I tried Red Bull, that upset my stomach. I tried black coffee, and again, it just had to go to the toilet like 10 times. So yeah, but on race day, I'll have lunch and then I'll have a black coffee to like, I guess this is gross, but just flush everything out. I find that's like a good strategy, maybe an hour and a half after lunch to like get rid of the lunch.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then before a race, I don't before normal, like just normal races. If it's like a target race, I'll do the beetroot shots. So they're like those Beat It Sport ones. I just yeah. What my biggest thing, because I'm such a nerd, I love reading about this stuff. Is if you go to like the AIS website, and if you type in like AIS Class A supplements, I think that's what it's called. It like has this awesome set of infographics that shows you like all these different supplements. So like Dom, you could look at the ones for like marathon running that are more beneficial for you. So like beetroot would be better for you, bicarb would be better for me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I kind of just follow the guidelines on those, but I think you load it. Like, it's expensive. It's like $80 for 16 of these shots. And I think for a race, ideally, you want to be doing like, I think 2 days of loading and then the race. So you're going through, I don't know, like $40 or like $30 or something for a race. So it's like it's expensive. So I kind of only do it. I think I'll only do it for state and nationals. I definitely think it works though. I was kind of brainwashed by Jared West, who was a 146 man. He actually still holds the 4x8 Australian record. But he's a family man now, but he was a big mentor in getting me onto this stuff. But the beetroot, the caffeine, I think I'll have, yeah, might be too much, but I'll have 3.5 of those tablets of no-dose. So it's 350 milligrams. And
Ooh.
yeah, it's a fair bit. And I think I weigh like, I don't even know what I weigh, but probably maybe like 68 kilos or something. So it hits pretty hard.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you get like jittery or like how do you feel?
Not really.
You feel
I mean,
fine?
I hype myself up. That's one of the things, like, how some people get anxious about racing. I used to, but I just hype myself. I love it. Like, that's the part of the race that I love. It's like I can juice up on the caffeine. I can just have my headphones in pre-race. I'm doing my drills and strides and stuff, and I've just got, rap music blaring. I'm like, this is sick. I'm about to go to the well. So yeah, I don't know. That's the part of the race. One of the parts of the race I really enjoy. So I have that. Also, the AIS website said like I don't know how many, but it's like a calculation, 0. I don't know, X times your body weight is like the ideal amount to have. So I kind of I found the upper boundary and then just did that. So I have that. And then bicarb, I do take bicarb. I take those little, those like Sodabic tablets. They're disgusting. Like, and if you overcook those, I had to do way less than what the dose said on the AIS website. Cause like, I think if you're like 68 kilograms, it says to have like 24 over a period of like, I don't know. You meant to have it 2 hours before your race to 2.5 hours before. So in that half an hour period, if you're having 24 of these fucking tablets, like, yeah, more than she just released like a little bicarb thing. So I'll be keen to try that if it comes to Australia. But yeah, 24, like I was throwing up and gagging for like ages. That was before my 800 PB. So I guess it worked, but I was in a state for a while. And then so now I think I'll have 12. So I do just like groups of 4, like 10 minutes apart in that 2.5 to 2 hours before. And then caffeine, and then yeah, then race.
What is that stuff? What is bicarb meant to do again? I know Dom's talked about it and I was like, is this just a weird Dom like hack thing? But
No, it's
apparently not.
I think the two are beta alanine and bicarb, sodium bicarb, and I don't know which one's which, but one of them is meant to be an intracellular lactic acid buffer, and the other one's meant to be an extracellular lactic acid buffer. So the idea is that it like I don't know if it delays or it like nullifies or it does something to reduce the effects of lactic in you as you build it up.
Right,
And
right.
like honestly, I don't know how much of it works. I don't know how much doesn't work. For me now, it's ingrained into my routine that like I fully believe it works, so I do it.
Yeah.
But like heaps of studies and literature by like the AIS and NSWIS and all these, the Olympics and it's a big thing. So
Yeah, yeah.
a lot of the big dogs did it, so I did it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like there's no like if you do it all right, there's no real side effects. The thing is just like if you have too much bicarb, you'll just need to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Too much caffeine, you just wig out.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I guess
Give
it's
me
like-
ideas with the caffeine.
Yeah, you start hearing colors.
Yeah. I guess you want to have all that like dialed in though, before
Yeah.
the race, I guess, because like you don't want to try anything new.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But
That's me.
yeah. The last question is any other gear or equipment that you kind of swear by?
That I swear by. I'm just trying to think. This is probably a bit of a nerdy one. It's a bit losery, but the spy belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
The
like.
what? What is it?
It's like
Cool.
for beginner kind of runners. You
Yeah.
see, like, they carry their phone around and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is it on the
Like-
arm?
No. Well, when I first started running, I have a photo which will never see the light of day ever again. It's me with my mum's little pink arm holder phone thing. Because
Yes.
I'm a big music guy. I can't run without music. It's
Yeah.
just horrendous. And yeah, so I listen to like podcasts and music every single run. So I have my spy belt, but I tuck it. I strategically go underneath my shorts and then underneath my shirt. So it's like very well.
It's
when
an
I first-
armband.
yeah. When
I don't know why they got
running.
such a hard go, actually. Like, it's a good idea to be able to carry
Yeah.
it around. Yeah.
It's just people give you so much stick for it.
Yeah.
But like on one extreme, I'm not Ed Goddard who carries his phone in his hand every single run, and then I'm also not like I'm not mentally strong enough to do my training without music. Like unless there's people with me, I have to listen to music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an enjoyment thing as well. So yeah, spy belt. It's pink as well, just to let you know.
Nice.
Yeah, very very nerdy.
Yeah. Awesome.
I have a little I'm gonna have to upgrade to that because I carry around a bum bag sometimes. So
So Italian of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll get
come
one
to
of
Pace
those.
Athletic, mate. Pace
Yeah.
Athletic.
Which
You should
one?
get,
Where do you work? Which one?
Any of them, mate. They'll all sort you out. They're all
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Good. Yeah,
There's
I
some
go there
pretty
all the
good,
time. Yeah.
Trail running vests, I reckon. Like, you get
Yeah.
a little 3 liter or 5 liter one.
Do you like them, Tom?
Yeah, they're all right. Like, good if you're on the trails, but
Would you ever wear them in like an urban environment?
uh,
That's a no.
if I was doing it, like, I'd have to be doing a pretty big run.
Yeah.
Yeah, but otherwise, probably not because it slows you down a little bit.
Does it? Yeah. Okay.
Well, the one I've got, it's like a 12 liter one, so
Yeah, the
Um,
big ones.
yeah, you kind of committed a bit more. But yeah, I don't know. Could be a good idea to get a little one.
Yeah. Cool.
Mm.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it from me then. Yeah, anything else from you, Smitty? Or
We probably should. We've been going a little bit. We probably can.
Yeah.
Probably can wrap it up. What do you reckon, Tom?
no,
We've
sounds good.
rambled. Hey.
Nah, it's been great.
That was
We
great,
always
wasn't it?
ramble. So
Yeah.
good. So good. Actually, we normally have we. I don't know if we've been doing this question that much, Tom, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we used to end. We've got to start doing it more consistently. But like, we just ask guests like what their favorite race has been and why, whether or not it's like just because performance or just in general. What do you reckon?
Like my own race.
Yeah. Just any races you've done. Yeah.
My 800 PB was last. I don't know. I don't even know when it was. But my 800 PB, I vividly remember going out in 53 through the lap with Ben Jagger leading, who recently ran 147. And Jags is like he's built like a giraffe. He's got legs that are about the size of my torso. So he's loping along. I'm sprinting behind him. I knew when I heard 53, I was like, oh, I'm gone. And then I felt good till 600, and then literally at maybe 700 meters in the last straight, like it hit me like a brick train, and I fell flat on my face over the line. Like,
Oh shit!
because I honestly don't know. I don't know what happened. Like, but I got so lactic that like my legs, like I just pushed. My legs just got so lactic they just stopped working basically.
Wow.
I was obviously not ready to go through in 53. But I was so cooked, and I like fell over the line, and it was as a horrific video of me just falling over the line like a goober. But
We'll have to find it and put it here as you
Yeah.
say.
that was one of those races where it was like with a bunch of my mates. The warm up was awesome. I went to the absolute well, threw my guts up afterwards. It was a PB. It was just awesome. So yeah, it's probably my favorite race so far.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Or is there anyone who we should be looking out for like this year at nationals as well? Like, who's going well or flying under the radar?
I mean, like I probably should mention someone from my squad. Like Luke is just on another level. I think like people don't know, but he got injured with a stressy, I think, in December, and then trained the house down, cross training twice a day, every day. So Luke,
He's pretty young though, isn't he, as well?
yeah, he's young, like 19, I think, or 20 or something. He ran World Juniors recently, but
Wow.
unpopular opinion, I reckon he's got a good shot for the Olympics for the 800. So
Yeah, right.
he's crazy. I think Kieran Rushton in my own squad as well. He's ridiculous. Like he went to World under 20 cross country, but he's just, I guess, had a period where he's just struggled with fitness for a while. But he's come back. He came fourth at State 5 recently. He's just on the train again. He's just murdering us in sessions. And then, I guess like as a youngster, like Harry Harleen, he's this young kid. He just turned 16, I think. Great kid, big growth spurt. Like I think I got a photo of him on my Instagram, us standing together when he was like 11, and he's shot up now. He's like my height. But he's run. I paced him to a 15 in November or December, I think, and he ran 352 or 353, and then he just broke 15 in the 5K with like the last 4 laps at like 77s. So he popped massively. The rest were at like 69s or something. And like he's a bit of a monster. I hope he doesn't hear it because I don't want him to think that I'm blowing him up too much. But he's one that's definitely going to do really well. It's just like a bit of a prodigy, I guess, for us. So I think he'll be pretty crazy in the years to come.
Yeah, awesome. No, good insights. Yeah,
Yeah,
looking forward to it all.
absolutely.
Yeah, but thanks for coming on. It's been absolute pleasure. I think I've really enjoyed chatting to you.
Yeah, it's
you
been
guys
great.
too. Thanks for having me on. Sorry if I wasted your time rambling a bit.
No, it's
No, no, no.
this is the show of rambling, but it was great. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.